So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it, and it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
as ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Carl seems to have forgotten.
Because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell the bacon.
Including worm. Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They love bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little fella.
You're changing it now. You weren't having any of it last week.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of
a little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the body, they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story.
Right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
GI bacon.
So this is why
the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
Get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
you know, Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin? Well, as Robin said at the time, Carl, why would I sit on ham then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
Because if you was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
It's the telling Ricky Gervais though.
Yeah. And then, oh, bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, Robin left, and I tried to chase him, but he got away, and he knows. And and then we had a few pints, and then Carl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records. What we got?
We've got one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it. Though my girlfriend worked on it, but
yeah.
You were going to play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was actually. Bizarrely enough, I was going to play some I Am Clute, and this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. This is called 2U. It's a good track. Clute, a track called 2U from the Teachers soundtrack. That's also got it's the Electric Soft Parade, The Hives, Star Sailor, Feeder, Turing Break, Smoky Rev on there. It's a good little collection.
Lovely. Carl has just had confirmation. He's looking smug because someone phoned up and went, "It is true. It's a Laogai chi worm, and you wrap bacon around your head." That's all the bloke knew as well.
Yeah.
And his name was Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No.
And he said, see, that's why the Robin thing isn't so weird. He said, but when you said he tried it with cheese, he said I was having none of it. Strokes, hard to explain. Like Carl, really?
Yes, yes.
So, Carl, concentrate.
Yeah, go on.
So, we'll leave the worm with the bacon wrapped around the head, shall we?
Well, if you're ever caught in the jungle...
Yeah, always carry some...
bit of Danish.
Good advice, lovely. So, would you like to start on your... to Steve, because I've heard all these.
We won't do them all.
Well, we'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, I don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like, a Friday.
Yeah.
So when you got to Thursday, there won't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in... You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Although I did him in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions, because he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, some chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away, me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. It's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did he just sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yes. Well, they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like, my mum and dad are putting this stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back, right? Straight away, just right back like
Swallow it
that.
straight away, yeah.
But it went down the wrong way, right? So
What, down your shirt?
So I was like, oh god, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, he's choking. If there was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and Imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, she's going, oh god, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it. And
So-
she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, oh, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had like, I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
His share. I love it.
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in a lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to like I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground, and my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him, and my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
Look like Marilyn Manson.
And so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me, and it came up, and I was alright.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand, because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it. So it went down your sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time I would have been alright.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well,
no,
yeah.
you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on.
one.
So, but
No, but the weird thing is, like for like 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of special person. I went to school.
I'm saying nothing.
I did full days.
a special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't like wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turn everything.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah,
Well,
did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that where you've like felt like I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell. We'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and like, I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean?
You had
wasn't
no
scared.
regrets?
No. It was weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it.
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're
around.
spreading information
Well, yeah,
to people,
yeah,
vital
giving
information.
a service,
Yeah.
and no one else is around. You know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So, so anyway.
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around.
I can't. Oh, so getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round, and
Why'd you get up at 4:30?
because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch Pink Panther?
And then did
Well, he went, oh, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
You'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p, So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
Conscientious.
so anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it, I've told her I'm still going, so, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had like a big anorak on with the fur on, I had like waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag, and I went downstairs to get out, and tried to open the door and it was locked. I thought, oh God, so she'd locked it so I couldn't go out, so I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh God, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window. God. Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm like trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know, like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah,
The little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding on to the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there,
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad, and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing, a big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life, and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle, there was nothing you could do, do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, not messing around.
Yeah.
So
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad! Hurry up! Panther, ever so pink. Oh.
so that was close to death, because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, you know, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving. So
Well, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, no, there must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's got to be one. That would explain so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said I better can't kick me out. I said I better can. And
I don't remember this. You didn't tell me this one.
No, but it can't what?
I was in the garden summer's day, and it was that era when like doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was like messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said,
what a kid he must have been.
my dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? What do you mean kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been like 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on like the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But then like get my foot down quick enough and land on
you
my back.
paused to say, there, I've done it.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So, to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm going to die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Wait. He said, I don't like the feel.
Carl, always check your balls.
Do you
I
check
don't like the
yours?
feel. Why don't you like the feel of your own balls?
They just, I mean, you know that I don't like bodies anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It worries me a bit that you've got all that going on in your body, right, and your skin's keeping it all in place.
Stop. We're going down a whole other avenue of discussion. Let's play a track, let's come back to it.
Oh, right, I've brought in this, this is, free, you'll know, from the Jeans commercial.
Yeah, All Right Now,
Long time ago,
yeah.
All Right Now, yeah. But this is a great little track. This is, My Brother Jack. Stereophonics, Vegas 2 times, XFM 104.9, into the last hour.
Yeah.
And then 3 shows to go.
That's true enough.
Until we're off the air. I'm Ricky Gervais.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Carl. Right?
Yeah.
Go on, tell you, we cut short last week, weren't we? You had an amazing story about Neil Armstrong, didn't you?
Well, we've been doing quotes, haven't we, like famous quotes.
Sure.
That have, you know, gone down in history.
Yeah.
And I was saying, you know, quotes don't really matter. It's more the situation that you're in than the quote itself.
Go on.
So like Neil Armstrong,
Yeah.
if he'd have said, what, you know,
Tie bacon round your head.
I'm as happy as a pig in
Yeah,
dust.
that would have still gone down in history as like being the thing that Neil Armstrong said, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Space is driven in mental, probably would have been.
But he chose to say something profound and
Yeah.
meaningful to
was-
befit the situation. It's well, he got it wrong. Actually, it's a small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But he was meant to say.
Yeah, we discussed this last week.
Well,
Rick.
yeah,
Stop
yeah.
showing off.
Well, no, but people weren't listening last week.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
matter.
I can't imagine
Well,
people.
we
not-
better tell him every week then.
Yeah, but he said he should have said this is one small step for a man.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a good effort, and that's quite.
and that's
Quite
an example
profound
of
and-
what I'm saying. The fact
Yeah.
that he got it wrong, but it still went down in history.
Right.
But anyway, the bit that and it didn't happen anyway, did it?
What do you mean it didn't happen anyway?
That's what a lot of people say. That no one's actually been on the moon.
Ah, yes, of course.
They filmed it in Teddington
Well,
Studios.
they were saying something about there was shadow on the film, and you wouldn't get shadow on the film, and there's all sorts of things.
You know these people that you always quote as they?
Who are they?
Are they living in jars? Are they little fellas in jars?
Look,
Go on.
You know,
Do they appear to you in dreams?
I've spoke to different people about it, and there's loads of little things that if you watch that programme, that you know of them being on the moon, there is no way they could have done it.
Right.
Done.
Fine, yeah.
Done.
Anyway.
That's put to bed.
Yeah.
But
Good.
anyway, as he was getting back in the spaceship on the moon, or whether it be a TV studio,
Yep.
he said, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Right.
Have you heard this?
No.
And the reason he said that was because when he was a young kid, and he was I think it was Croucher, but when he was playing as a young kid in his garden, he was playing baseball with his mate, and he chucked the ball to his mate, and his mate hit the ball, and the ball went over the fence to the next door neighbour. Right, so he goes, right, I'll just nip over and get the ball. And as he was getting the ball, the window was open to his neighbour's house, and he heard like the woman shouting at her husband saying, "I'm not going to be giving you a bit rude, so if you've got a kid in the car or whatever, turn it down." What, yeah, that's covered that, yeah. Right,
Genius.
I'm not, no matter how many times you ask me, I'm not going to be giving you oral sex. The day I do that, man would have walked on the moon.
Right. Yeah.
He grows up, he gets on the moon, and he remembers all that story, and as he gets back in the spaceship, he says, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Now, do you know, now, I have to say, I've heard that story before, but when I heard it, the woman said, the day I give you a blowjob is the day the boy next door walks on the moon. Which makes it all the more profane.
Impossible.
And enjoyable. Yeah, and unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've heard the same story, Carl.
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
I love that.
Right, so not only have you remembered that anecdote, which may or may not be true, but of course you've also proven
The
that
day I give you a
it never
blowjob, that kid in the garden's probably going to walk on the moon and say something about giant leaps.
But, yeah, you must have heard the thing that it never actually happened.
Yes, we've all heard
Yeah.
it. We've all dismissed it as nonsense.
And moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got on with our life.
Right, Carl.
What?
Should we do White Van Man?
He didn't prepare me for that. We better play a track and then I'll dish
Okay.
I'll fish out the newspaper and stuff.
This is a good little a little bootleg track here from Meats and Poultry here. They've mixed A with Outcast.
Right.
Chorus is great.
Is it highly illegal?
Is
So people shouldn't rush to their tape machines now and press play
okay.
and
So
record?
whatever you do, don't record this now if you're recording it. Hold on, don't say anything. Well, that bootleg's going into the name of Nothing Miss Jackson, I think, by Meats and Poultry. So there you go.
I do love these bootleg things because they're so pointless, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah, it's
great.
just fun to do.
Yeah, exactly.
they're
Really good
they're
fun.
great. But not as much fun as White Van, Carl.
White Van Carl, that's
We take the son asks someone else and asks Carl. It's as simple as that.
That's
The
it.
son have just taken a normal person, we flipped it. We're going to ask Carl the same questions about the week's news.
yeah, just basically your opinions, Carl, as ever. What do you make of, well, obviously the big news, David Beckham's broken foot? Is this a big concern for you?
No, I mean, it's sad. You know, it's sadder for him more than anyone, because, you know, to like be in the World Cup is like the main thing for him, innit?
Yeah.
But he's still a young lad, and I don't think he'll give up. I reckon he'll still turn up. He'll be alright, and yeah, good luck to the lad. You know, alright, David, I'm not going to slag him off.
Boys' words. Yeah. He says that like he knows him, like he's popping round for drinks later.
Yeah, like we tried to stitch you up. Go on.
But obviously yesterday, was it yesterday? I think maybe Thursday. The Sun printed a big picture of David's foot and encouraged everyone to touch it at midday, because hoping that this would somehow, if we all thought and prayed together, somehow that would help his foot heal. Do you believe in that? Any belief in that?
No, you're going down the old like Yoragella route, aren't you?
Sure.
I know it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it's nice effort and everything. It sort of cheers everyone up.
Hold on. You believe